Hi family, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Hey guys, welcome to another exciting installment of Life is But a Dream with the Makhs. My name is Makhs.
And I'm Petola Makhs.
Today we are going to be sharing with you marriage myths or misconceptions about marriage. Now all we're going to do is we're going to give you the myth and then we are going to respond by sharing our truth based on our perspective.
Let's get into this.
Get into it.
It was the summer of 2008. She said, I would cook a lot of time with that date. Now raise it last 10 years of matrimony on cake. We celebrate. Now we're stronger together, never better. Go-getters, trendsetters, Black Panthers, the anthem. We the Makhs and we only getting better, ayy.
Life is but a dream.
So family, as Lerato said, we are going to be speaking about misconceptions about marriage. I would love to call them lies that the enemy feeds us, because the enemy is always whispering things in our ears, right? We spoke about in our installment called Marriage and Divorce, we spoke about, causes of divorce in a marriage and can you really divorce proof your marriage? And, those are the obvious ones. Those are the ones, the glaring ones, finances, infidelity, and all those things. But there are those subtle things that can really cause a lot of friction in your marriage that the enemy whispers in your ear. And today we want to discuss those things.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So number one, the first myth, your spouse is meant to satisfy your deepest longing.
You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of when we were discussing how I felt like people need to come into a relationship as complete people. As opposed to coming in and contributing 50-50 to a relationship, you need to come in whole as 100% and the next person needs to come in whole as 100%. If you don't do that, what ends up happening is I feel like you start putting a lot of pressure on the next person to fill in the gaps. There's a friend of mine, Credo, who says so he's single, he's in his 30s, and we were starting to discuss why, and he says, well, look, one of the things I do is when I meet a woman, I say, listen, let's talk about any past issues that you have that you haven't dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, as funny as it was, I was like, but I get it. You really need to work yourself. Work things out, man, on the issues that you have on the inside of you and whatever, and don't depend on the next person to heal you, to complete you, to and for me, I think the thinking should be, what can I give to this person? What do I have to give, as opposed to what can I get out of the relationship?
And baby, it's so profound that you're saying what can I give, because I think I learned the hard way in marriage, because like we said in our other installments that I had just really weird expectations about what marriage was going to look like. And I think, I didn't really exercise that spirit of servitude, where, I coming into the marriage that I had to serve you as much as you were supposed to serve me. In my mind, I honestly believe that it was your responsibility to make me happy. I mean, and like I said, in the previous installment, I don't know if it's, what we were sold growing up. You watch fairy tales and there's a knight in shining armor.
For sure.
There's supposed to be someone who's supposed to sweep you off your feet. So it got to a point where, after you said to me, babe, it's not my responsibility to make you happy. After that penny dropped, and after Will Smith said it, I realized that only God can really satisfy,
for sure,
those deepest longings.
Yeah.
Only God can fill that void. It's not your partner's responsibility. And I really think that, we put unnecessary pressure on our partners. I'm really sorry I did that.
No, it's fine. Please.
Yeah,
we're good today. No, look, we strongly believe that happiness is an inside job. That it's something that you need to be pursuing. And what makes you happy is on the inside of you. If you can't communicate that to yourself, how do you expect to communicate it to somebody else?
And once you reach that point, babe, you also become more gracious.
Yeah.
You know, you had that coming into marriage. I had to learn because, you know, when you don't depend on someone to fill a void in you or make you happy or heal you, you become less of deputy Jesus. You know, like the judgment factor sort of drops, and you can allow someone to be who they are, you know, without putting pressure on this person to be who you want them to be, so that they can make you feel some type of way.
And the ability to put yourself second, like you were saying, with servitude. So the ability to put yourself in a position where your spouse's happiness means so much to you that it actually fills your cup when you see them happy.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
And number two. Yo, this one. The grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Who's guilty? Are you guilty of that?
Never. No, and
shame,
not
guys. My husband is like,
no. And
I feel so bad.
No. You know, I'm the first person to say the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate, man. We live in a culture of you know, this Instagram culture where people show off the highlights of their lives. And it's not just about Instagram. You know, before Instagram, it was every Sunday at church, right? And we're seeing like, okay, you're going to put your Sunday best, and we're going to see like, because now we need to gauge like where you're at and how well you're doing in life. It's been a lifelong phenomenon, you know, but, you know, the sooner you can really just walk your walk, you know. Also, I want to quickly, before you respond, speak about the other side. Also, don't be pessimistic. If people are happy and genuinely doing well, don't be like, oh yeah, you know, they probably got a tender and somebody go snake park. No, guys, like, allow people to flourish. Be happy for them, really, in your heart of hearts. Be happy for them. Bless them with your words of affirmation and whatever. Don't be like this person that just can't be happy for people. But again, you know, balance it. Don't now crucify yourself because you feel like you know, I wish we had those lives, because you don't know half the battles that people are facing and fighting.
Sure, babe. You've always been wise beyond your years.
So stop it.
Because I feel like you came, as much as you had your own personal struggles, you came into our relationship with a lot of head knowledge, you know, because you're so principled. You had already thought about, you know, certain things, so head knowledge about the grass is greener where you water it, blah, blah, blah. Whereas with me, you know, I had to learn gradually. I remember the one time, I think we had just had Hagwe, you know, our firstborn. She's now 7. And I remember I was using Larato's phone, you know, and then I child your data, you know, and you were just like, babe,
it's like, I'm done.
Like, feeling the data, whatever. And I was just like, listen, basadi baba rekela di Range Rover as push presents. You know, I didn't say that. Did I say it to you?
Yeah.
Or did I say it in my head?
You said it to me. Abuti, sa tlompotsa ka data. Sa tlompotsa ka data. Witsi, banna ka montle ba rekela basadi ba bona.
And I think it was also hormones, and I was tired, you know, I just given birth and get busy. Like really, you know. And I think, you know, that comparison can be what is the word? Comparison is a thief of?
I don't know, of joy?
I think it's a thief of joy. I think that's what the saying says. You know, and in the age of Instagram, you know, you're looking at these people buying push presents, baby moons, this and this and that, you know, and you don't really get to a point where you appreciate that your husband tells you, I mean, he tells me that he loves me like every second minute, you know, he tells me that I'm beautiful every second minute.
But also because,
do you know what I mean? Babe, you know what?
Wow.
But just really, you know, like when your partner is just an amazing partner and a supportive husband, and you're looking over the fence and you're just like, if we can just go to Bora Bora.
It is, and you know, it is a joy stealer. You know why as well? It's a joy stealer because when you fail to be in a position where you can really be grateful for what you have,
Yeah.
the less you're gonna have. Gratitude attracts more into your life when you're grateful for what you have. And I don't want to even say the little that you have, because what gratitude does is it actually shows you how much you have. When you're grateful, you actually start to see that, man, so let's talk about us. We've never struggled to conceive, to have children. We've never had birthing difficulties. That's something you need to be grateful for. We've never gone to bed without a meal. It doesn't mean that we haven't had financial struggles, but we've never not had a roof over our heads. We've got family that we can lean on for support where other people don't. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you start to look at your life and the richness thereof, then your cup is filled and you're like, wow, I have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Then you don't have time to be comparing yourself with other people.
Sure.
Another thing is, if you have a conversation or two with other people, their lives look great, and then you sit down and you actually have a conversation with them and you go, yeesh.
And babe, but even before that, I actually love your first point where you said, what if they have perfect lives? So your contentment shouldn't be
based on
from them,
their misery,
them, all that glitters is not gold, but back
sometimes
at the
it
ranch,
is gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just be content with where you are, even if other people's lives are glittering.
For sure.
Marriage, number 3. Marriage doesn't need work. It should come easy. That's what I thought when we got married, guys.
The jokes keep writing themselves.
That's what I thought, honestly. And I think that's why I was so challenged early on in our marriage, because I remember we would ask people how marriage was, as an engaged couple. And we'd say, so guys, how's married life? And they'll be like, marriage, it's hard. It's not easy. And we'd be like, hey,
what are they on about?
Clearly, is everything okay at home? We're like, we're not gonna have those issues. We love each other. We are in love, and our life is gonna be perfect. But there's a saying that you like, baby, that says everything worth having is worth fighting for. Yeah.
There's absolutely no way that, like we've spoken about in our previous installments, there's absolutely no way that marriage can be the ministry that it is without you having to work on it. There's no way. We can't sit here and say that it's the only institution that has been likened to Christ's ministry, right? Where the Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And then I go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, but Jesus kind of died for us. So, you know what I mean? And then for me to walk into this institution thinking that it's going to be a breeze. No, this is hands down the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it has been the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. Make no mistake, but like I say, anything that is worth having is worth fighting for. And it's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
And everyone would have it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the toughness of it that makes it great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the, because you have days, you have seasons. But it grows you so much as a person. I think that marriage is there to awaken your potential. And it is this institution that is used to put you through the fire, to be like, hey, I need you to come out gold. But actually learned something that companies prefer to hire married men in managerial positions because there are certain exercises, that they've I read that in an article a couple of years ago. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
And I mean, just bring it close to home. It's like, if you're not married and you're trying to figure out what we're saying, it's like having a banging body. You know, like you see these people talking about gains and, you know, and they're ripped and they're shredded. They worked.
Yeah.
They worked. But the rewards, they look amazing. They feel amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So it really is something that
Put
is
in the
worth
work.
working on.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I also want us to discuss this, babe, is that, you know, sometimes people will make statements like, I don't know why, you know, people say that marriage is hard, and you know, you might feel some type of way because your marriage is not easy and think that marriage is supposed to be easy. And we're not even talking about this is very important. We're not talking about love is pain, and you know,
Oh,
no.
no.
Love is not pain.
No.
If it's painful, it's not love. There's
No.
something is not right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's trying, it's challenging to grow you. Do you know what I mean? Not to put you down.
For sure.
You know, lenyalo, it's not there for
Yeah.
and inisela and qina and khotella. No, we're not saying that.
No.
You know, we're saying that the challenges are there to grow you and to make you a better person, and not to inflict pain and create a self-doubt and give you like a low self-esteem. No,
it's supposed to build you.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be able to gauge.
Yeah.
You know, every person will be able to gauge. You know, if you've got a healthy relationship with yourself, you'll really be able to be honest about whether this relationship is building me or if it's breaking me. You know.
And number 4, your children. I know this is a contentious one because I know some mothers especially are gonna be like, your children are more important than your spouse. Guys, that is a whole myth.
Yeah.
That I think maybe as a mom I should take this one
Go
first.
for it.
Because we are the ones who are really guilty of just sort of when we, you know, you'll say to your husband, you don't know the pain of labor, and you know, and sometimes we really just neglect our spouses, our husbands, because we're so busy mothering, nurturing, we're tired, and we're so this and this. And what I've learned is, you know, growing up in a family where my parents were so, especially my dad, you know, he was so affectionate. I learned by watching them what a healthy relationship looks like. You know, my dad, guys, he was always,
amazing.
you know,
Always amazing.
affirming my mom, loving. And I think that if we neglect that relationship of the husband and the wife, you know, obviously we're not going to be able to raise strong kids.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be those gaps where if we are not getting along, you know, the kids are gonna see it, and it's not gonna be.
And as well, the two of you were there before the kids were there. You know, you don't want a situation. We kind of briefly spoke about this before. You don't want a situation now where the kids are out the house and you guys don't even know each other anymore. You don't recognize each other anymore. There's no sense of friendship anymore. You know, you kind of get to that point where you're going through the motions of okay, you go to work and whatever, what does the schedule look like, what does we know that we're now on Wednesdays, you do this, you kind of get into this routine. You start putting the kids before, and by the way, yes, you should absolutely always consider your kids in every decision that you make. But what we stop doing is considering each other in every decision we make, right? So we say no, but the kids, and it's like no, but what about what about me? What about you? What about us? That sounds like a song. What about me? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like what about that? So don't get to the point where you are neglecting each other and using the children as an excuse. It's easy to do that. Why? Because this is life. You guys are just not agreeing in this particular season, and it's easy to deflect and say, no, but the kids, but the kids. Those kids need a stable home to grow up in. They need their parents to have a solid, steady, reliable relationship. It gives them security. Shout out to all the single parents out there that are holding it down. I think it's very important because, guys, there were moments where I would sit back and I would say, I do not know how single parents do
I
this.
have another level of respect.
Oh man, it's crazy. Just the things that you have to juggle, where between the two of us, we're sometimes like, yo, I don't know. So, you know, I don't want to forget the single parents out there, you know, shout out to you.
Yeah.
And yes, it's understandable that, you know, your kids are your first call of duty, you know. But I think if you are fortunate enough to be in a relationship with your partner, the father or mother of your children, don't neglect that relationship, because it just makes raising your children much easier and gives them a positive view of what relationship looks like.
And I mean, not even the father and the mother, because there's some blended families out there. Do you know what I mean? So in this case, really your spouse, whether they are the biological parents to your children or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And our last point, guys. Our marriage is too broken to be fixed.
That's a lie. That's a lie. And don't ever let anybody tell you any different. I am the first person to admit that it's hard. Let me rephrase. That it gets hard at times, you know. We got to a point in our marriage where we felt like certain things were too broken to be fixed. And really, I think on reflection now, it was as a result of our biggest thing really was that people evolve. Be okay with evolving within your relationship. What started happening was we confused evolving for changing. Right? Oh, but you've changed. But you've changed. Guys, when you meet your partner, they're gonna put their best foot forward. All right? And they're going to sell you dreams about, they're gonna give you the moon and the stars. At some point, you're gonna get off stage and you're gonna come back to who you really are. Allow your partner to just explore that evolution that is happening on the inside of them. But the mistake I think I made was I started to evolve
outside
without her. Outside this, you know what I mean? Then I was evolving and I was starting to find different aspects of myself that I really loved and I wanted to explore new things, right? Maybe I kept her out of it because I was still working it out, because women like to have definite answers, right? Where are you going? What are you going to do there? Who are you going to be with? What time will you be back? Whatever. Guys, we're not like that, right? We're like, I don't know we'll figure it out when we get there. I don't know. We might move, we might not. We might chill, we might go. We might, whatever. You know what I mean? We're very on the fly. So because I was still working things out, I didn't want to have to go through that, because I didn't have the answers for her, because I didn't have the answers for myself. So I wanted to explore, but then it started manifesting in us growing apart.
And I think, babe, like, you know, what I've observed during that time, as well, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think once you start evolving without the other person, and the enemy starts to sort of whisper that you can make it without that person. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just like, you know what? You know, because we really had some difficult conversations where we started questioning whether, you know, what it would look like if we were not together. Do you know what I mean?
And exploring
it. Do you know what I mean? To be like, okay, you know, what would it look like? You know, because we've never really thought about divorce, but I think there's been like a lot of instances where in our minds we played around with the idea of what would life look like without each other. You know, because, you know, we're just going through the most. Do you know what I mean? And you know, and the enemy hates marriage, guys. You know, I just want to say
be
something
okay with that.
and be okay with that. I mean, you look at people that will date for like 10 years. They get married and then a year later they're divorced. Do you know what I mean? So You know,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
have to be careful. And babe, you like to say something to me. My husband likes to say that, babe, I'm not the enemy here.
I'm on
Do you know
your
what I mean?
side.
I'm on your side. You know, and often I find that when we're fighting our partners, we're fighting the wrong enemy. You know, we're not each other's enemies.
For
We
sure.
are a team.
For sure.
You know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to always understand where the energy of this argument is coming from.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you actually can't locate it.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, what you guys are talking about is actually not the issue. And it's important to now take a step back, which is why I like to sleep on things, because I'm like, I actually don't, and you go through those seasons, right? Where you're just, it's just a disagreement upon a
Yeah.
disagreement upon a disagreement. And then do an experiment for those of you that are in relationships. Go to a time where you just were not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
Do you actually remember what you were fighting about?
Yeah. Because now, remember, we're speaking.
Because I
about
don't. Sometimes I'm like, what were we actually fighting?
Yeah.
You didn't realize
we
that,
had
yeah.
the conversation the other day when I said, babe, you know, when we were going through that time when we actually didn't know that we would make it to the other side, what were we really going through? You know, like, and the emotions were so strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't even locate those emotions anymore.
So we can't locate the emotion. We also can't locate the reason. You know, it's and like I'm saying, that my best explanation is that we were evolving, and we struggled to work through that evolution.
You know what my explanation is? Like, now that you're talking about it and I'm thinking about it, I think it's the build-up of all those little lies.
Yeah.
From where we started from number 1. And then it gets to a point where it's like, this is not worth it. This is not what I signed up for. You know, I need to live my best life without this person. You know?
So if you're having a hard time, guys, don't feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you're the only ones that are going through something, you know, in your marriage, because it's very common. It's just that we don't like to talk about it. You know what I mean? We just have this attitude of, you know, let's keep things in the home, like so that we can protect our dignity and cool. I understand that, but we also need to let people know that it gets hard.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. It's not easy at times. You know, there are times where you feel like you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of clear. I've had days where I've planned. I'm like, okay, so what would it look like? Okay, I would go to, I think I said this to you. I was like, I said to my wife, I was like, because we're just very honest with each other. I once said to her, I know exactly where I would go, like where I would sleep, and so that I know that it would be close enough for me to come and see the girls, you know,
sure.
on a, like, I had this whole thing planned out, you know, and I was clear. The lie is that your life is better looking like that. That picture is better than what you have, or the potential of what you could have. That's where the lie is. It's not better, guys. Trust me, work through it, fight for it. It gets better. And when it gets better, it is so sweet. It is so sweet that you start to realize that, man,
like
I almost gave up on something. This does not include being in an abusive relationship where you just need to get out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a real, like, acknowledgement of, we're not seeing eye to eye right now. But as far as our values, we are still aligned. As far as our vision, you know, what the purpose of our marriage is, we are aligned in all of those things. It's definitely worth fighting for.
And we know that, I mean, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? But
for sure.
God wants us to have an abundant life.
And
with that brokenness, baby, comes so much, you know, like when it's broken and then it gets fixed, like you were saying, you know, growth emerges.
Revelation,
purpose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, new level.
Yeah, new
everything.
level. And I think that if you're both still in it, even if you're going through a tough time, but you're both still in it, it can work.
Be in it.
Be in it. Do you know what I mean? Because if one person taps out, then
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap. You know, but if you're
Unfortunately.
both still in it and you don't know what the next week or the next month is going to look like, but you say, we're going to trust God,
Yeah.
you know, to take us through the season that
Yeah.
we're going through, you know. And, you know, like, you know, we pray for you. We wish you well if you're going through a tough season.
Yeah.
And, you know, God restores, and he restores 100-fold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the word.
And
Well,
that.
Yes. was another installment of Life is But a Dream with the Makhs. We love you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Let's quickly get into our shout out.
Do you want to take those ones?
Okay. Shout out to Tepang Sebola.
Hi,
Shout out to
Tepang.
Tepiso S D Ngube. What's up, family?
Hello.
Star Moon Light. That's such a cool
Yeah,
name.
I know,
Shout out to
right?
you, fam. Manare Granny.
Yeah.
Don't know if you're a granny, but what's up? Keho Comfort.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Mini Truth Karabo Mamokhale. Shout out to you, fam. We've already said Dingube Nandi Lukongolo. I think we've already.
I think we did.
Yeah,
yes,
we already
shout
did.
out Nandi.
Yes, that's right. What's up, Nandi? We said Tsepang, yes. Mawandem Singale, shout out for
shout
the
out.
feedback.
Yeah.
Naira's Williams. I hope it's
we said that
Naira's.
right. Yeah.
Naira's,
On
Naira's.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. What's up?
I hope we said that right.
Ntatile Mate, Refense Molewa.
That's my cousin.
Katlego Masibi, Dineo Motsipe,
And
Dorothy Molotwane,
Molotwane.
and Sihle Nkapai.
Oh, man.
Shout out to you,
Yeah.
fam. We love you. Thank you so much for the comments, for the
Yeah.
responses, for the engagement.
Yeah.
We said this in our first episode. We are not an authority
Yes.
on any of these subjects.
Yeah, yeah.
We are here to share our perspective
Yeah.
based on our experiences.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. If this episode moved you, said anything to you,
Yeah.
we just appreciate all the feedback that we get.
And we do
We get
try
and look
to
out.
respond to every single
Yes, we do
comment.
try.
If we
We
do
try.
miss your comment, please, I suppose it could have
Yeah.
been like an oversight
For sure.
while we're trying to respond.
Yeah.
But we love and appreciate you
Always.
so much.
Peace and blessings.
Bye.
Love you. Peace.
Life